guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. So if you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with another Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir. And this time, we've got the public build of 8.0 released, and we've got more Oscar content. So I'm going to jump right into that. And also, it adds some new art along Lee's path. So we'll be getting to that eventually as well. So anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy, and let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right in. Alright. Here we go. Alarm chain, you're up. Okay. It's reassuring in a strange roundabout way. Taking a step away from the bar as I look at the hallway in front of me. It's short with a dip in the ground, leading to some kind of staircase. If this is heading to a lower floor, then it must be more likely to lead to an exit, right? I can't just leave if the others might still be in here. Who knows how far the nearest phone might be? I don't even know the address to call for help either. Taking a deep breath, I walk deeper into the hallway. It already feels different from all the other hallways. There's no doors at all, and after a couple steps, my suspicions are confirmed when I see the floor leading down to a bundle of stairs. As soon as I take my first step down, there's a noticeable shift in the temperature. It's significantly colder here than any of the other places we visited earlier. Suddenly, I step into a patch of cold wetness, and I let out a blood-curdling screech. I frantically rush back, nearly tripping on the step, only to see it's just a puddle on the step. Wait, it's not just one. There's numerous puddles across the entire stairs. It looks like it's more prominent near the bottom. Did a spill happen here, or maybe a leak happen? I carefully maneuver my way down the stairs, making sure to dodge any puddles in my way, even in the areas where there isn't water. The lino floor is still moist, like it's covered in condensation. Things get even more confusing as I take the final step to the next floor, only to have my foot fully submerged in water. This time it isn't a puddle, but the entire floor looks like it's flooded. It's not too deep, only about an inch, but it doesn't look like it's going to go anyway anytime soon. Standing with both my feet in the water, the feeling of the cold water against my pad sends a shiver throughout my body. I'm forced to waddle through the water, trying not to think about what I could be stepping on. The water is too dark to see through it. Even my white fur is barely visible in the dim light. I come across a door when I enter. There's only a desk with nothing substantial in it, but with the same light flooding as the rest of the floor. Looks like I won't be finding anything interesting. The sound of splashing footsteps in the distance echoes through the hallway, and I become paralyzed, a billion thoughts running through my head. Any doubts and fears are instantly blown away as soon as I hear that familiar booming voice. Hey! Anyone out there? Hello! Come on, man, I know someone's gotta be here! Oscar's voice is a wave of relief that brings a smile to my face. Even without trying, he's able to lift my mood up. Darting out of the room, I immediately slip on the still very wet floor, but I'm caught by something strong wrapping around my waist. Whoa there! Hey! He's right next to me now, using one arm to hold me up with no effort at all. He doesn't even look like he's straining any muscles at all. I'm light, but it's still impressive. Just dropping in, are we? Oscar! Right now isn't the time for modesty, and I throw my arms around him and hug. I've experienced too much emotional whiplash in this place to not seek any comfort I could find. Hey, little dude, you doing okay? Without even a second of hesitation, he returns the hug, and I'm surrounded by his large arms. His warmth envelops me in an instant, and I get lost in the comfort for what little time I can before having to return to reality. After a couple seconds, Oscar pulls me away, and his smile is soft. His beautiful, shimmering blue eyes are filled with concern. Even he's taking the situation seriously. You didn't answer my question. Huh? Sorry, what was it again? Hey, I asked how you're doing, man. You look a little messed up. Sorry, I just woke up in this strange place, and everything here doesn't make sense. I met up with Lily, but we got split off, and I think I've been panicking a little. I'm so glad to have found someone again. He flashes me that signature grin and leans down to bump his shoulder against my own, waggling his eyes in a teasing expression of affection. Well, you got paired with the best one, too. It causes a giggle to slip out of me, and the way his face just lights up as if making me laugh has solved all our problems causes my ears to burn. There we go. That's why I'm the greatest. As much as I want to indulge in his fun theatrics, the situation is too serious to let myself get distracted. Does your phone work? Lily's and mine won't turn on. Yeah, man, I didn't bring my phone. Want to go for a swim after we get finished up? Wanted to go for a swim after we got finished up, so I didn't bring mine. My expression must have shown just how flabbergasted I felt because he just widens his grin further, but I'm not letting him escape just because he's got a handsome face. But you were on your phone at the library. You were looking stuff up. Actually, that was Grumpy's phone. He wanted me to find out about the hunky badger, so he gave me his phone. He didn't have any fun pics or anything. Disappointing. How are you so relaxed about this? Listen, man, I'm not dumb, but there's no point stressing out. Plus, this ain't the first time I've woken up somewhere weird with no memory of the night before. It's called college. We probably just got wasted last night and can't remember it. I think I'd remember something like this. He crouches down and nudges my shoulder with his elbow, even dwarfing the size of my shoulder. Compared to me, his proportions are huge. Doubt if you get wasted enough, you get trashed enough, you can end up here no problem. This is serious. We don't know where we are. He lets out a light chuckle and takes a step over to pull me against him, pressing my face against the side of his chest. His expression is lacking any of that sultriness. Instead, his smile is soft and his eyes are gentle. Hey, man, I know this is serious. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. I didn't mean to upset you. I'll get us out of here. You got me, man. So don't lose your head. Right. Yeah, don't panic. That'll just make it worse. There we go. I knew you could do it, man. He gives me a light shove with his tail, which for someone with Oscar's strength is still strong, and he heads back the way he came. Where are you going? You gotta find a way out of here. If you came from that way, I doubt there's anything over there, so let's head this way instead. Did you wake up here? Yeah, in that room. I just thought I took a nap in the little pool behind the frat. Turns out I was lying on the floor of this place and it's flooding. Weird shit, man. He points towards an open door a couple feet away from us. The door looks much more elegant than the others I've seen in this place so far. Like an old fancy door. It's out of place in a hospital. Not too much of a stress, though. If this place was truly filled up, I could hold my breath for around 8 minutes. That'd be fine. Leading me into the room, I can see it's a mostly empty checkup room. There's just a simple desk with 2 chairs and an examination bed. What does catch my interest is that this little desk has personal items on top of it, unlike every other barren desk I've seen so far. There's pens, other utensils, and a photo frame. The frame contains an image of a large cruise ship. It's a diagonal frontal shot, but its length is visible despite the angle. The red sunset sky and rows of lights on the cruiser makes it look makes it look majestic. Yeah, that's the SS Marionette. Real popular cruise ship. Super expensive. Have you been on it? When I was in high school, yeah. Not sure if my parents saved up or if we won or something. Was it nice? Yeah, the boat was insane. Felt closer to a palace than a ship. The trip was awful, though. Bad weather? Something like that. That's the end of the conversation. In a weird moment, almost as surreal as this entire situation, Oscar's the one to end the conversation. It must have been a really bad time. I'm guessing that's when he lost someone on that cruise ship. Looking around the rest of the room, it doesn't look like there's much else in the room. The desk had a few books with notes, but nothing that could help us discover where exactly we were. In fact, all the notes feel childish, like they were written by someone young. The repeated doodles in the columns gave me even more proof towards this. Most of the doodles are about a small stick figure and a larger one, as they looked like they were getting something. A medal of some kind, if this drawing of the large stick figure holding his arms with a disproportionately sized medal around his neck is any indication. I can't stop a bittersweet feeling from swelling in my chest. These are nostalgic, but also sad. It's of a simpler time, but also a time that's long past. I wonder which of the two the owner of this book is. Aside from that, there's nothing else in this room. Just a little blip of personality in this otherwise abandoned hospital. Oscar's given up searching completely and is just leaning back on the chair. The way he rocks back on it despite the bottom of the legs being submerged in the water is anxiety-inducing, but I've been fooled enough to know his tail will keep him upright. Having fun? Did you find anything exciting? Just a notebook. I don't think it belongs to the hospital, though. I think it belongs to a child. Probably just a kid on one of the nurses or something. Easy to miss one of your kids' notebooks when you pack up. But most of their mementos are here, too. Maybe this place isn't as abandoned as we thought. Might be a homeless guy or something. You're stressing yourself over nothing. He walks over and, without another word, runs his claws through my head fur. He's smoothing them out. Just how frazzled it had been, I'm not sure, but his firm touch is a needed reminder that I'm not alone. Now let's get out of here. It's clearly messing you up, and I'm always down to get wet. I'd be in a pool. He takes a couple steps, and before I even get the chance to follow, he wraps his tail around my waist and pulls me after him. It's a gentle tug, but I have to grab his arm to stop myself from slipping, laughing all the way. That's more like it. You're much cuter when you smile. He reaches down and cups the bottom of my chin, running his thumb from my cheek to my jawline, slowly grazing his claw against my skin beneath my fur. It only lasts a second, and he releases me and gives me a tap on the cheek. His own chuckle is deep and husky, like it's filled with different intentions. God, it's tempting as it is. I'd rather keep this for when we're out of here. Now you got me motivated. I didn't do anything. And you did it without even trying. Maybe you're the real stud between the two of us. After a quick wink, he's bouncing down the hallway. He's not even running, but he's able to move much faster than I. He just glides through the air like he's unrestricted. I'm once again reminded of how Oscar elegantly moved next to me. I really need to accept his invite to swim. He must be a master of the water. I know from the few otters I've met that being on the ground is very much not their element. With less weight on my shoulders, all thanks to this amazingly strange giant of a man in front of me, I trudge after him. My long fur causes my motions through the water to be much slower. I'm really wishing I wore something warmer. It's even fall. It's going to get cold sometimes. Why didn't I bring something to wear? I know it's just the cold water around my feet causing me to shiver, but it's like the cold is seeping through my body. Oscar looks significantly less affected. He notices me shivering and wraps an arm around my shoulder, pulling me close against him. Normally I'd be embarrassed, but the warmth is too inviting. If this is all I needed to do to get you to grind up against me, I'd have gotten us kidnapped earlier. It causes me to look up towards his face, my eyebrow raised. While the bottom of his head and the entirety of his chin is cut off by his large chest from this angle, I can still see his smile turn sheepish. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Can't hit every time. Even sheepish, his smile is still infectious that despite freezing in this awful place, his smile spreads to my face too. Thanks. Anytime. Just glad you're not looking so sad. It doesn't suit you. We're still in a hallway, but it looks like it's about to end. Just a couple feet away is a split, going down 2 hallways. There's one door leading somewhere unknown, but thankfully the other direction has a sign indicating it leads to the emergency room. Out of curiosity, I try out the other door, but it doesn't budge. At least this one only looks locked, unlike some of the other doors that seem completely sealed. The keyhole looks rusted but functional. If the ER doesn't work, then maybe we can find the key to this door. Maybe Oscar can just kick it down. Oscar is already standing at the end of the other hallway, waiting for me. Except he isn't looking back at me. He's staring at the floor. I follow after him, but I nearly stumble as the floor takes a small decline. It's clear what Oscar's staring at now. It's another stairwell. That's not right. What isn't? Oscar's voice still has his light edge, but the confusion is still evident in it. But that's not the most striking thing about him right now. It's his missing smile that's a cause for concern. If this leads to the emergency room like all the signs say, there wouldn't be a dip here. They gotta be able to wheel people through in case someone is in real bad shape. Where does this lead, then? Let's lead to the ER. They wouldn't have had a sign leading to the wrong place, unless you want to try that other way. Looks like we're heading down here. As Oscar takes a step down the stairs, I quickly grab his arm before he can go further. He only looks back at me with a quirked brow, and his friendly smile returns to his face. Isn't this weird, then? Maybe we shouldn't go down there. You want to go back the way you came? I can't. It's sealed up by a grate. And we gotta go this way. Don't worry, man. It'll be fine. If something goes wrong, I'll protect you. I promise I'll save you from your next nightmare. He holds out his arm for me to grab onto. He's not forcing me to do anything. He's letting me decide to take it and to take as long as I need. His normally large smile is softer, and there's no annoyance in his expression. He's letting me decide if I'm willing to go with him. Taking a deep breath, I lift my arms around his. There's something about feeling another person next to me that makes the situation not feel as horrifying as it actually is. But when I take a step down, the height difference rears his head again, and my arms are lifted a bit higher. It's nothing uncomfortable, it just makes me more aware of how small I am in comparison to Oscar. He's a living heater, too, which is a plus. I'd be an ice cube without him. Taking slow steps, I descend down a group of stairs again. Unlike the first time where the walls had just been wet with moisture, these walls have water running down them in numerous streams. And this time, I have someone else. Each step further down, I feel like it's getting colder, and not just the water around our feet, but the entire place. It's hard to think about that as we reach the bottom. Instead of the last couple stairs, we're confronted with another pool of water. This one is significantly higher than the previous one. That's really deep. That's going to come up to my waist. Well, I did promise you I'd swim, didn't I? It's not what I planned, but ta-da! But I'll freeze! I can't... Hey! Without letting me finish my sentence, Oscar reaches down and effortlessly pulls me off the ground with only a single arm. He twists me around before deciding on holding me in a bridal-style, curling me up against his chest as he cradles me in his arms, much to my poor burning face. What are you doing? Didn't you think you'd want to waddle through all this on your feet, you know? So I decided to give you the VIP treatment. And don't forget, it costs nothing to stare. It might cost you to touch. He looks down with a playful smirk before giving a chuckle and pulls me against him a little harder, smirking me, sinking me into his warm embrace. It's a joke. Don't look so scared, man. I'm more used to the water than you. It's freaking freezing in here, but that's fine to me. Thanks. I didn't mean to imply... And I'm trying to use underhanded tactics to seduce you? Because I'm trying to seduce you. I just prefer using more straightforward tactics. As if to emphasize his point, he puts me back down onto the stairs a couple rows higher than him, and without any hesitation, pulls his shirt off. Well, pulling it off is a generous word to describe the slow pace he slides it off as he grabs it from the bottom, his eyes trained on my own the entire time. Oh, fucking hell yeah. Watching the pink fabric of his tank top jolting up as it runs along each muscle is enough to flare up my face, and I finally break my resolve and look away, ignoring a deep chuckle from the otter. Here, man, hold on to this for me. Never like getting my shirt wet. I barely look back in time to catch it. I have a feeling he wouldn't actually be too upset if I dropped it in the water. He'd just use it as an excuse to be shirtless the rest of this hellborn trip. If it was my other shirt, I might have just worn it. Could you imagine how that would cling? It's tight enough already. I could do that for you if you want some time. Shouldn't we be moving on? Others might be searching for us. This isn't the time to be messing around. He flashes me another grin before sweeping me up again. Unlike the first time, this feels more intimate, but he doesn't say anything else. If this was any other situation, I can't imagine he'd be this quiet, but even he's showing restraint in these circumstances, even if he isn't taking it as seriously as he should. He steps down into the water. The water is high enough to meet his hips, and without any hesitation, he begins to walk through the corridor. The lighting here is dimmer than the rest of the hospital we've been through, but it looks like there's another stairwell at the end. There aren't even any doors down here. What's the purpose of this hallway? So strange. You know, most guys at this point would have thrown themselves at me, even the shy ones. There's only so much resistance one has to all this. It should have sounded arrogant or self-absorbed, but Oscar says it in a way that's more like he's stating a fact with no real personal attachment to it. As if it's just a thing about the world and nothing else. You're so strange. You like me, I think, but you still don't want to go further, but you just enjoy hanging out and having fun. I don't think I've had someone like that before. What about Selwyn? You guys seem like good friends. Hell yeah, we're friends. Selwyn's probably my best friend, but he never really asked about me like you do. Man, I don't normally do this talking about feeling stuff, but you're always asking. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Nah, man, it's fine. It really is. I don't quite understand you, and I like that. You're so different. Plus, you're a lot of fun to hang out with. I don't know why you find me fun. I'm pretty straight-laced and boring. At that, he jostles me, so I'm forced to look up at him. His smile is smaller than his eyes, but his eyes are still shimmering that stunning blue. You're a lot of fun. You're kind and always down just to shoot the shit. Most guys are either too aggressive or too put off by me, but you always seem to enjoy yourself. That's plenty of reason for me to come back. Don't sell yourself short, dude. Of course I would enjoy myself around you. You're full of energy, and you're always making things exciting. You're like out of a book or a movie. If I didn't know any better, I thought you were trying to get into my pants. You don't have to try so hard, little guy. I've heard that you look like a porno actor line a lot. That's not what I meant. I know, but that makes it fun, you know. I'm this stud, but you'd rather just talk and hang out. How many guys want to just do this? He pauses for a moment before looking down at me and towards his chest. I'm once again made aware of the fact that he's shirtless and I'm pressed against him. It might sound strange, but despite wearing less, he feels even hotter now. It might be because I'm pressed against him, though it's nice. There's a distinct lack of chlorine this time, and there's just nowhere near as present. In fact, his fur looks a bit more matted than usual. Pressing my hand against his pec, I force myself to ignore the warm feeling of his muscle beneath my palm, and especially the way he chuckles and flexes them underneath my hand. It's immediately evident just how moist they are. Either he's sweating a lot or water's been dripping down on him more than I thought. It's freezing down here. How are you sweating? I'm good in the water, but trudging through it holding someone else is a bit more of a workout than my legs were expecting. Don't worry, I like the burning. Feels good. That pops a question into my head that I've never thought about before. I hope it doesn't sound too stupid or silly. I'm just curious. How did you get so big? You haven't even seen it yet. How did you know? Oscar, you know what I mean. I can't stop myself from laughing and giving a soft jab to his chest. I probably don't even need to hold myself back. I think I'm more likely to hurt myself punching him than ever causing damage to this guy. Just swim a lot. I go to the gym too, but I swim nearly every day. Work out hard enough and you'll look like this. I like you as you are, though, little dude. Don't feel pressured when around me. I don't think being ripped would fit me. Nah, probably not. You're more of the cute, naive twink. Not too shy, but modest enough to get all blushy when a guy hits on you. Plus, you stand up for yourself a little, and I like that. You like that? Yeah, means you'll tell me off if I go too far. Anyway, we're here. Want me to put you down, or I can hold you like the rest and I can hold you like this the rest of the time. You're light. I don't mind. Just like that, the rhythmic bumping that I didn't even notice had been soothing my nerves ends. Let me down. I feel awful if you carried me around everywhere. Yes, sir. As he lets me down, my feet plunge into ankle-high water, fully jolting me back to reality. We're abandoned and trapped in some weird place, and we're just flirting. Handing back his shirt, I have to immediately shove my hands under my armpits. Hopefully the fur there can keep me warm. I really took Oscar's heat for granted. Feeling cold already? You're trembling. Yeah, a bit. It's Whoa! I don't have any time to react as Oscar pulls his shirt over my head, blinding me for a moment, nearly causing me to slip and fall. It only lasts a couple seconds before my appendages are through. Alright, I'll pause it right there. Ah, man, I'm loving this. This game is so weird, though. Like, what the fuck is happening? It's like these guys found a damn SCP or something. That memoir, there's more to it than meets the eye. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!